right.
Hello, I'm Sam from Workshop APD for the FRZ project.
Okay, thank you. Let's see. I'm just
What's an FRZ project?
I'm sorry. 12 Cannonberry Lane and 10 Cannonberry Lane.
Okay, thank you.
Great, thanks. Okay, I'm just going to start our little preamble and we'll see who joins us in the meantime. As a preliminary matter, this is Rob Benchley. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. I'm going to take the roll call after I read this, if that's all right. This open meeting of the Sconset Advisory Board is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order, March 12, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the COVID outbreak. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we've been advised and directed by Commonwealth to suspend public gathering, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of the public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which you can find posted for the agenda materials for this meeting, allows the public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will feature public comment. For this meeting, the Sconset Advisory Board is convening by video conference via the Zoom app as posted on the town's website. Please note this meeting is being recorded and that all attendees are participating by video conference. Please be aware that other folks may be able to see you and to take care not to screen share your computer. Anything you broadcast may be captured by the recording. All supporting materials that have been provided members of this body are available on the town's website. Public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless I note otherwise. Now we're turning to the first item of the agenda. Before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business. I'll introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, I will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide comment, questions, or motions. Please remember to mute your phone or computer when you're not speaking. And please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in a conversation with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. After members have spoken, the chair will afford public comment to those members of the public who have joined the meeting via Zoom. Members of the public who wish to speak must state their names and be acknowledged and speak through the chair. Each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote. And now I'm going to do our roll call. Those present, let's see. I see there's Caroline Ellis.
Yes.
Thank you. Mary Lathrop Will.
Hello.
There you are. Angus McLeod. That's all right. He'll probably be joining us. And Clement Durkees.
Here.
Thank you. I'll take a motion for the adoption of the agenda as presented.
I'll make that motion. This is Mary.
Thank you very much. All those in favor, Caroline Ellis,
Yes.
Clement Durkees,
Yes.
and Mary Lathrop Will,
Yes.
and Rob is a yes. All right, that puts us right to item number 1, North Gully Road. And this is the demo move off of that funky little shack down there. And I see Lisa Botticelli is here. Lisa, would you like to proceed?
Sure. So My understanding is that there is somebody that's interested in taking the building at the moment to be moved. I think, is it you, Caroline?
I would take it only if a place, I think it should stay in Sconset.
Oh, okay,
And I was so afraid of demolition. And I was a friend of the owner, and I would not like to see it demolished.
okay. I misunderstood Warren then.
So, well, it's, you know, it's the game of telephone.
Yes,
yeah.
apparently.
Thank you.
Literally.
Yeah. It's a wonderful building, fabulous building. Great background, great history. Is it likely that your client would keep it?
I don't believe so. He's not interested. He does not want to have a structure on this property at the moment.
But what about the other property?
I don't think he's interested. I think he would prefer not to keep it. He'd prefer that it get moved off.
Okay, thank you. The chair notes Angus McLeod's arrival, and thank you, Angus. And if I'm just going to call on you to see what you think.
Hi, everybody. I'm still getting used to the time change. Yeah, it's interesting I mean, what are the circumstances that brought this structure down from the bluff down to this parcel?
Well, the Arvays built their house on the property.
Chris Holland built the house.
Right, but there was a house built on the property. That's why it was moved. It's where the Arvay house is today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I think this is the only thing on this property at the moment. There is no other structure on this property.
No, Lisa, it was on the Arvay property, and then it was moved down to Wade Greens in Codfish Park.
Oh, when they decided to move it off their property to build their house, they moved it to Wade Greens.
Chris Holland, yeah,
Built
was
that for his son. That's what caused the thing to be moved. The Arvays subsequently happened to buy the property, but it was an existing property.
Right. So it had been up on Front Street, and now it's in Codfish Park.
So my main concern, as it is, I'm sure with everybody, especially Caroline, is that that the structure remains intact and stays in Sconset. So I think everything rides on that.
And I'm in complete agreement with Angus and Caroline. This is Mary.
And this is Rob, and I feel the same way too. So
So the
I guess
bottom line, no demo, move off only in Sconset. That's our consensus, I believe.
great photo.
Yeah.
yeah,
So sweet, so sweet.
That's where it was.
Yeah.
11 Front Street before it got moved to its current location.
Right.
All right, so move off only in Sconset. Got it.
Demo.
No demo.
yeah, that would be terrific. Okay. This
Thank
is
you.
Rob. Anybody have any other comments? All right. Thank you, Lisa. Item number 2. Emily Overlock, 22 Clifton. I think these are revisions. And is
Yeah.
Elizabeth here? No. As near as I can tell, the changes haven't been bubbled, but it looks like the ganging of some of the windows has changed on the Oh, right, there it is, north elevation. I'm sorry, it is bubble. It's just not in color.
You all can
On the
see
o-
this, right, Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Okay.
On the lower right is the outline. Thank you. Yep. That is
Those
a
were
change.
once ganged windows. And I believe it was Chairman Coombs, Commissioner Coombs, excuse me, that asked for that change.
And also on the west elevation, I see where there were once 3 ganged windows, there are now 2. That's on the lower right, excuse me, lower left. Yep, right
Yep.
there.
I have no concerns. Mary,
Thank you. Thank you.
Clement has no concerns. Looks nice.
Angus has no concerns.
Okay. Caroline,
Caroline, no concerns.
thank you. Rob has no concerns. All right. Thank you, everybody. Holly, are we ready to go to number 3? Okay, let's go to item number 3, 12 Cannonberry Lane. And this is Sam, is this you?
Hi,
Sam's
this is
here.
Ali, the project manager of this project from World APD, and Sam is on the call, the
Great.
architectural designer.
Okay, thank you. If you would guide us through the changes, that'd be great.
Would you like us to share our screen? Or do you share the screen? Sorry, this is my first meeting.
Okay,
Staff typically does. The only way that staff allows shared screen is if it was actually coming from our web where all the applications are. Just bear with me for a
Okay.
second.
No problem.
Thank you.
And I believe we missed the last meeting, so I think they're not revisions. Ali, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but
No. Andrew missed the meeting. He could not be on the meeting, but the project was heard, and like these are revisions made to the project. So yeah, as you can see here, we had some notes from last meeting. So if we look at the drawings that were submitted, yeah,
almost
so
there.
this is this cloud is showing the main dwelling that we are proposing for this application. So what we did for as you can see in this elevation, we reduced the height of the chimney. One of the comments was that the chimney was too high, and we reduced the height by 2 feet and 2 inches. So right now the chimney is much lower, and at the bottom of the page you can see the previous one. So in the next elevation, again we can see the reduced height of the chimney, and also we modified this window as per the comments. If we keep going,
I don't see any. I don't see any change in those windows. This is Clement. I mean,
I don't know.
Hi, Clement. So yeah, the location of the window has been changed, moved to the right, closer to the chimney, and I'm not totally sure about it, but as far as I know, the size of the window is being reduced slightly.
What, by 10% or so?
it's sort of immeasurable, but
Yeah, but the location has been moved, as you can see. So here on this side, most of the changes have been made on this side, as you can see. So I start from the left side. We added a door here instead of that small window. but we reduced the amount of glazing. So that double height window has been changed with just triple milled window. And then on the right side, instead of one quadro window, we use 3 single ones. So it's more in favor of the context. And also the height of the chimney, we can see it's been changed here. And if we keep going on the next page, so again, we reduce the amount of glazing. Starting from the left side, we remove that large door window and replace it with 3 small windows on the second floor and 3 single windows at the bottom. The same thing to the right of it. Instead of a quadro at the second floor, we use 3 single ones, and instead of that triple door in the middle, we use a double door. So now it's more appropriate considering the context. And I think this is the last drawing that we mentioned. Yes, those are just floor plans.
Mr. Chair, if I may mention
Please.
to.
Yep.
Okay, so
Holly, go ahead. Thank you.
one of the comments that you all had, and I brought up to the commission as well, was the fact of all this fenestration. There was no way of discerning on whether or not these are going to be visible. And the commission needs to know whether or not these are going to be visible at the end of the day. And this body needs to know in order to provide a proper recommendation. I don't see anything additionally included in this revision packet to say whether or not that has been addressed. So I just wanted to bring that up for the record.
Thank
In
you,
terms
Holly.
of visibility, if you go down, keep going, I think on the second, go down. So we are proposing in our landscaping, keep going, I think, please. Yes, here in front of this window, page A202, we are proposing landscaping and tree in front of the window. Yeah, page A202. Yes, this one. On top of this one, if you can see in front of the window, we are proposing landscaping to cover the visibility from this side. And also, so we are going to have trees, and with these setbacks, most of the glazing is going to be hidden behind that portion of the building, which is on the roadside.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I'm going to ask a question.
Please. Yep.
I don't see any landscaping included in this packet. So I'm not too sure how the unique glazing of fenestration on these elevations are actually going to be hidden from landscaping if we don't see it.
Yeah, in this north elevation, you can see like it's maybe it's too transparent, but you can see there's a tree in front of the window in the middle. No, in the middle side, in the middle of the building, in the middle of the elevation, in front of this triple window, there is a tree. If you zoom in more, you can see it, I think.
With all due respect, I got pretty good eyesight and I don't see it. I just wanted to bring that up to your
Yeah.
Well,
something
also,
that you all
Mrs.
wanna
Clement,
talk about.
Sorry, Holly, but while we're on this, you should red bubble those 2 little windows on the second floor to the right of where you changed the 3 triple windows. Those 2 little ones are new.
Oh, yeah.
They
Yeah,
should
I
just
think
be
this bubble was
identified.
missed. Yeah. But yeah, as you can see overall, like we reduced the amount of glazing significantly on every side of the building, and by dividing them into like single units, we try to make it more appropriate.
The one elevation that you did not change that still has the big ganged windows, I think faces the pool or something.
Yes.
You did not change that, and I wouldn't think you were going to put a tree right in front of that. So that would be.
But that one, you're talking about this one that has like this window with the chimney
That one.
next to it?
That one right there.
this
What does
one
it say? West? West.
It's on the west side, yeah.
Yeah.
So this one is not going to be visible from the road, and it's facing the pool, and so this is the only one.
I'm sorry to be controversial, but that chimney in its industrial nature will be very distinguishable from anywhere from Tom Never's pond on to Sconset. I mean, that will be one of the first things encountered because it is on the edge of a wide open plain that exists, you know, where the Coast Guard base has been. What is the actual height of that chimney, even though you've lowered it by 2 feet and 2 inches? Is it still about 34 feet?
You mean above the the ridge?
Height of the chimney, yeah. What is its current height? I know it's been reduced by 2 feet, but it is going to stand out in its, given where this property is located.
Looks like 32.8 to me.
Well, that's awfully tall. That'll be a thing that is as visible from Tom Nevers as is the water tower. It doesn't, and you couldn't possibly grow a tree to that height down there. If you notice, there are no other trees down there. It's because the wind whips across that plain. And it's sand plain, it's outwash. It's not going to grow a 40-foot tree.
Yeah, this is Rob. I'm just looking at the one of the elevation. The main mass is height is 29 feet 4 inches, and the
That's correct.
chimney, yep, and the chimney is 32.6. It's
Chair, this is Angus. The chimney only is only required to be 3 feet above the ridge. So that should be the maximum height. I'd just like to echo everyone else's thoughts about the west elevation. Our concern was the size, scale, height of the glazing of that door window unit, and it's unchanged. It moved, but insignificantly. And in general, it's just the height of this and the outdoor fireplace that, as Mary has pointed out, will be visible. So those are my concerns.
thank you, Angus.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Either Caroline or Clement or anybody? Okay. Okay, thank you for those comments, board. Shall we move now to, oh, the garage for this application, is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you. Ah, there we go. It's amazing how long, I think the whole world needs more bandwidth. It takes forever for these drawings to come up. If everybody would stay patient, we'll see it in a second. Oh, there's mine.
Yeah, I don't know what's different about the format of these, but these take up more room than pretty much all our applications.
Okay. And then, yeah, thank you, Holly. Scroll down a bit.
Yeah, so this is the garage, and so
Excellent. That's the page. Thank you.
So on the east elevation, you can see we removed that barn door and replaced it with a window, and we flipped the window on the right side of the east elevation to the left side at the location of the previous barn door. On the west elevation, that glass door has been replaced with a door with sidings, and the ridge height, I believe, has been reduced. And if we go to the next page, there are some other changes, I think, on the next page. Yeah, it's mostly floor plans.
That's all we got.
Yeah, just the windows, doors, and that's it.
Mr. Chair, it's Mary.
Thank you.
While I appreciate the slight reduction of the ridge line and also the elimination of the barn door, which I think has no rationale here, I'm still really concerned about the balustrade over the garage entrance for having the sort of balcony effect for the second floor of the garage. I don't know any other place where that is, if it's existed, has seemed quite so stark. I mean, I think as you come down Cannonberry Lane to that would be a very obvious thing to cite. It's not, and I don't see it as being a welcoming architectural element. To my view, going down Cannonberry.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Mary. Just randomly, Caroline, can I have any thoughts that you'd like to share? Anybody else? Clement?
Yeah, this is Clement. I don't know if you could put that, I mean, obviously that little archway over the garage door is the entrance to the second floor. If you could have the stairs and the entrance on a different facade, perhaps well, I don't know if it'd work on the east facade or just
Maybe on the
Where you-
west.
maybe on the west. Just so you could flip it somewhere so it wouldn't be right over the access for the car. Where is the access for the car?
I think it's
Oh, maybe
on the
it's-
next
Oh,
page.
it's the next slide. Yeah, must be the next one.
Yeah, because we wanted to have the previous elevation on this sheet, so we moved some of the drawing to the next page.
So that must be the south elevation is where the car drives in underneath the staircase.
Yeah. Yeah,
There it
you can
is.
see it here. Yeah.
There it is.
And that is exactly what you'd see coming up Cannonberry Lane. You know, as you're approaching Sleepwing Circle, that's going to be your view on the left.
This is Angus. For the narrowness of the building, the proportions, it feels too high. I would drop the eaves down so that they're more like a knee wall of 3.5, 4 feet. And that would bring the scale down. I would also switch the deck and the stair around to the other side, even if it means setting off the sideline setback or the rear setback 5 feet. I believe it's awkward to be having a balcony that is in view of the street out over the garage doors. That's all.
Sure.
Thank
you,
you.
Agnes.
All right. Thank you, everybody. I think, I can't tell if, oh, wait, hang on one sec. Huh. I don't know if Caroline got disconnected. I don't see her on the list. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, there she is. Okay,
Right here. Yeah,
there you are. Okay, thank you. I didn't scroll down far enough.
I think the window would have to be changed if they move the window over the garage door. Or the windows.
I think that's a door. That's the doorway into the second floor bedroom. So it must be a sliding glass door.
It appears to be.
Mhm.
That's correct.
But if the balcony were moved,
Yeah, if the stairs were moved in the balcony, then it'd be somewhere else. You'd have to the back here, you'd have to have a sliding glass door. I get all twisted around, so I'm thinking that this garage actually faces the other house. So from the street, I think you see the east side. Yeah, see? So the Cannonberry Drive is to our right, Cannonberry Lane. Yep, there it is. So we would be seeing the east side of this house. Well, you'd see both sides, south and east.
Thanks for literally circling back to that, Holly. In the east elevation, the lack of fenestration on the right side feels out of balance. And I think there needs to be some visual cue of why that is, whether it's a trellis or another window or something, but it looks awkward to just be blank.
Yeah, it sort of looks like the back, or doesn't look primary enough.
Yeah, that's what people coming from the Cannonberry development towards Slow Beach Road are seeing.
Okay. Did you get all that, Holly? Okay, this is Rob. Should we move onto the shed with this application? Is that correct? Yes. Whew. While that's coming up, I noticed on your plans there that they have the some of the new boardwalks they're going to add to those sand dunes that they're creating down there. Very interesting. All right. And maybe these are loading so slowly because we've got 6 people accessing the same file at the same time. I don't know if that matters, but man, oh man.
Very slow.
Thank you. This is Rob. Holly. I didn't get a chance to look at the, had the HGC asked for some revisions on this at all?
No, no revisions on this one. This was hold on track.
Okay,
Yeah, this one was
All
to
right.
track.
okay.
So if we wanted to look, you all did provide, because I don't have it in front of me, so I apologize. But your comments, I don't even know if I was able to mention them. No, I was not able to mention them. I don't think you all had that many concerns on it.
Can we see the where it's going to be, Holly? Just
Yes.
right there. Yeah. So there's the garage, and then there's the shed, and then there's the house, and then there's the pool. And then as I recall, there's some solar panels and
On this separate lot down here. Yep.
Yeah.
Double
so
lot.
what is that building though? Did they move the shed from one place to another, or is there another building? Like
This
right here?
building?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think.
Well, that must
these
be
are-
a cabana or something.
And
in the
that's,
picture.
yeah, that's on the adjacent lot and,
Yeah.
not part of this application.
Correct.
Correct. Okay. I don't have any concerns with the shed.
I don't see anything either.
Sam, I have one question on that south elevation. What is behind the plank doors?
It's a storage shed, so it's for, you know, coming off the beach and having some miscellaneous easy access storage facing the home.
Thank you. Looks good.
Ready?
No concerns?
Thank you. Yes, no concerns. All right, thank you for coming in and sharing your explanations with us.
Thank you.
Now
Thank
we'll
you.
move on. Yep, thank you. Now we'll move on to the part 5 new business. And item number 1, I see that the ownership has changed to Ferguson, 28 Main Street for pool and hardscape. And at the top of this on Holly, I had followed this for a while with the Zoom meetings for the HDC, and then it somehow vanished. So
Rob, may I interject? I'm on there for 9 Hawk Circle also. Just
Right.
oh, you are? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. All right
Sorry.
then. Oh, I see. It's at the top of the second page. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, 9 Hawk Circle. Thank you.
I missed it from the agenda too, so. Yeah, just to go over this really quickly, this is revisions based on feedback that we received from the Sconset board as well as HDC. And it has to do a lot with basically the north elevation and some of the fenestration detailing and balconies, et cetera. I will add that with this sheet that we're looking at now, we basically provided 2 options for this north elevation, where the owner is still hoping for a more open looking balcony. And so if you go down 2 pages, you'll see a combination of views for that north elevation that show 2 options. One is which is the shingled option. The other is more typical baluster. Yeah, this sheet. And so, and based on previous feedback too, we had talked about balconies over front doors as not being very indicative of the area, but that's where we included some pictures of some local projects, one of which is the existing house on 9 Hawk Circle, and a few others in the surrounding area that shows up. But that's just where I told our client that I'd plead our case. And with that, the main change on this was we added a wraparound porch to try and soften the elevation a bit, as well as not make that balcony quite so noticeable. And then we changed the center massing to forward-facing gable instead of an additional shed roof. So it changes the character of the house quite a bit. So hopefully this is getting more on the right track.
Great. Thank you.
Welcome.
Wow.
Rob, I'm happy to start. It's Angus.
Thank you, Angus. Proceed.
At some point, was there discussion about the 2 ridge heights being similar or more different, but not as they're shown? Because it's like it's just a slight miss. They're like 4 inches or 8 inches different in height.
Yep, they are similar. And that's where, when we had that center gable as an additional shed, the HDC picked up on that as far as not being enough of a break. My hope was with the gable that breaks it up enough to which you're almost never going to see the two planes in the same view. As this is the north side of the property, which is technically the side from the driveway, and it's a little more narrower and sheltered. So really more from a Hawk Circle, if you're on the street, you're not going to see that left side.
I think even from Low Beach Road, you might, get a distant view of this. And that's when so much ridge length is going to show up.
Yep, I will say the south elevation from Low Beach is very different, just in the sense that we have the two gable masses coming out. That's the south there.
Is it possible to match those up, drop one or raise the other?
I think so. I mean, I think it's a question of, do we try and match them or do we try and get more variation?
One or the other. I think it's kind of a miss at this point.
Okay. Yep. Nope. Noted.
The railings, I miss the old suggestion in that where there was the cross
Right.
railing, and now it's a straight up railing on that right side. Before it was a smaller balcony, and now with the deck going from corner to corner, it seems like too much. And I know one is set back from the other, so it's not like one deck runs all the way across, but for those second story decks, I think they're more successful when they're inset some from the edges.
Okay. Yep. That was actually, we had a feedback from the HDC that they didn't like the small hip roof porches on the back. And so we changed that to a more standalone balcony on the right side. And then on the left, we dropped, or we made that more of a gable roof instead of a hip roof, dropping the ridge after the fireplace.
Great. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Angus. Mary or Clement?
This is Mary. I have to say that I like the balcony on the front of the house being enclosed more than the open balustrades.
Okay.
I like that shingled, right on the top image there. Yes, thank you. The pointer is hitting what I just think it sort of blends in nicely.
Yeah. That's why we drew it that way. I think you hit the nail on the head. It disappears a bit more.
Yeah.
I said I'd try.
And that's my only comment.
But then you would, this is Clement, then on the other side, you would keep the open balconies. I like Angus's idea of making probably the one on the right smaller, just so they don't look like, they don't read as if they run right together.
Sure. Yep.
Maybe if that's a shed roof instead of a hip or a flat roof as it's shown, but just
show some roof, and then just because we don't need that much space up there. It was more just if we were going to try and get as much coverage below, we don't necessarily need as much balcony above. So I can make that smaller.
And maybe it can get some of that feeling that you've got going on in the front of the shingled rail blending in with the roof, so that because the other deck is set back so much that it'll sort of be inset anyway, but just something to keep it more integrated.
Sure.
Great, thank you. Caroline, do you have any?
No, I've been following. I think the suggestions are great. I just love the old fashioned X shapes instead of the up. Yeah, I just love that. It looks so old Sconset to me, but I think the front is much improved with that enclosed balcony.
Yeah.
And the length makes it look like an apartment building to me. But with the previous drawings are quite charming.
Great, thank you. Okay, if there are no other comments,
Wow, it's a big project.
yeah, huge. It will look stately there. All right,
Anyway.
thank you for pointing out the fact that I totally skipped that application quite by mistake.
No problem. Thank you,
All
guys.
right. Thanks, Adam. Okay, here we go with 38 Main Street, the pool. As I was starting to say, I couldn't find what the last decision of the HTC was on this same property. And also, I hope you all got my message about.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank you,
Thank you.
Rob.
I did look through all of it, but was running out of gas.
Yeah,
It's a recitation of all the pools that have been put in Sconset, but I would say that the pools cited are on houses that have no historic context or do not have the same historic context, with the exception of the Marconi house, but that is farther out of town. But this is truly the old historic core of Sconset, and therefore we can't kind of say that it's the same thing as all those other houses that have pools.
I
yeah,
think that's a good point, Mary. This is Angus. And with each pool that has been installed in Sconset, it has changed the character. It has changed the feeling. It's changed the sounds and the actions. And it's an environmental change. You know, a pool is in the ground, so it's not visible, but the energy changes around it, and I think that's part of what we're preserving is the character of Sconset and the feeling of it.
Precisely.
yeah, thank you. It's, if nothing else, the applicants sort of pointing out how many pools there are in Sconset actually sort of reinforces the feeling that it's getting a little crazy. Do we know what the HDC's last determination on this was?
Well,
What was that?
this, Mr. Chair, this is a brand new application with a brand new, I guess, agent for it. They didn't want to approve it, and I can't remember if it was just withdrawn, but I don't believe it.
I know that one of the commissioners is very concerned about the poolification of Sconset, specifically in the core. And this is the first of the truly historic houses that is being affected by
Correct.
that right there, which is also on Main Street and backs up to the chapel, and another historic house, is not in the same, it does not have the same historic significance as this Jerome house. Casa Jerome.
And, you know, a 10th wrong, unfortunately, this many pools have gotten through, and with each one that is approved, it's encouraging more. So what message are we sending here?
Well, I would argue that the Marconi house got its pool because all of the other houses on that side of Maury Lane, the west side of Maury Lane, had pools, and so they couldn't say, no, you can't have one because your next door neighbor has one, and your next door neighbor and your next door neighbor's neighbor has one. Yeah, I get it. And we saw all these applications, Linda, included all those things, and that was you know, very, very good work on her part. The context is different, however. with Casa Jerome.
This is,
Villa Jerome.
Villa Jerome, sorry.
this is the most important, well, showing the zoning.
Well, it is SR10, which does not preclude pools, obviously.
Correct.
So Holly, there was a application for a pool for this house and it was rejected. And now here's another application. It's a new application, but what's the difference? It was a application for a pool and now it's an application for a pool. How does that go?
They didn't get a denial, so I'm trying to find the site plan. Do you all know where the site plan was? What did you say? It was,
Yeah,
Rob?
it's
Sorry.
it's on page
I can't see.
38 of the last,
Yeah, the third packet, right?
third packet, page 38.
Thank you, Rob.
Way at the bottom.
Yep.
Not the wrong one.
Ah,
Yeah, in that neck of the woods. Right, there we go.
There you go. There you go.
there it is.
Rotate it so it's a little bit better.
And yeah, you're not going to be able to see this pool from the back, and it's, you know, it's not a bad pool, and they've done a nice job landscaping it, all of the above. Our concern is it's a pool with all it brings. It's not even a very big pool,
No,
but
it's
still a pool.
It's 15 by 24.
yes.
That's not small.
No. They have done a nice job mitigating with, you know, it having grass around it. Remember in the earlier submission, it was sort of surrounded by lots and lots of bluestone.
Yeah. I don't know.
And as Caroline always talks about the pool equipment, which I'm noticing more and more. So that's right at the corner of the property.
Right.
And whatever happens to that existing barn, we don't know yet, but
No.
Well, Mr. Chair, through you, this existing barn is now on a different lot because they subdivided this under the 4181L exception under the subdivision control law. So that is essentially a different property in question. But yes, the pool equipment being right here is something to note.
And
Well,
it
of
says
course-
future garage.
Right, and the last time we looked, that was called a guest house. I mean, we approved the guest house on that same site, but we also noted that, remember, that was the one where it's
Look-
one story and it has garage doors on the front facing Main Street,
Right.
which looks very normal. But we thought it was a little bit peculiar that people would drive into a finished guest house.
yeah, they
Yes,
drove
so-
into the bedroom, Mary, as I
so-
recall you're pointing
Right.
out. But
Yeah, and they would have to go through to the bathroom as well.
During the HDC
But-
review of that application, I did bring your comments and as well as mine on about that to the applicant and the HDC. And it sounds like it's going to be used as storage once the season's over with, but that is a livable structure.
And now there's a new gate down next to the entrance, so it looks like nobody would drive there anyway. I mean, I
Well,
don't,
it's an opening gate. I mean, we need to talk about that too. 'Cause
Yeah,
that- we
okay.
talked about that, but yeah.
Yeah, I think the gate was part of the idea of hiding, making sure the pool wasn't visible. But I think we're of a mind that we'd like to forego the pool in its entirety and end of sentence.
How do we feel about the design of the gate? Does that look Main Street-ish? I don't know, there's something,
I can't think of any other gates on Main Street, to tell you the truth.
Either. I mean, other than picket fence gates.
Well, or, no, Atlantic House has a gate, but I don't remember what it looks like.
Is it a
Or no, they
gate
just
with
have,
posts?
no,
No,
maybe they just have stone posts, yeah.
yeah, they don't have a gate. This looks like Mrs. Mellon's gate to me.
It does, doesn't it? It has a kind of a country feel to it. It kind of has a, you know, maybe out in the country in Virginia at a horse farm, but it doesn't quite read Main Street to me.
It's a pretty design.
It is pretty, but is it Main Street?
Well, the
Yeah,
only other gate I'm thinking of is the one that's on Butterfly Lane that goes into the Hearst property that's has a keypad and a gate.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Well
Yeah.
taken.
Yeah, thank you. This is Rob. To me, a gate on a Main Street property, which is Sconset's gateway, the gate says stay out.
Yeah.
And, you know, don't look here. We're, you know, we've got our thing. We're behind this gate, so you can just keep moving.
Better
And
than
I,
a chain, Rob, though, which I see now.
and I don't think it's necessary, and it's a.
Yeah.
It just reads, stay away to me. When that house is more like, look at me, I'm historic, and this is why we love Sconset, and aren't I something? Not stay out.
Yeah, this is changing the context of the village.
I also don't think it does anything to hide the pool. The pool's on the other side of the property from the gate, so
Yeah.
that would not be the, it wouldn't solve anything about that. So I agree, get rid of the gate. We don't, I mean, all these other gates that they're showing are just walkway gates. This gate is a driveway gate.
I would also like to make a little comment about the about that colonial fieldstone stacked wall. I know that that would be a 3-foot wall on their patio leading down to the pool. And I understand that they need some sort of retaining wall there and everything else. Colonial fieldstone seems a little bit of a misnomer. It looks very modern to me. It does not look sort of indigenous.
Yeah, it comes from those shale fields out by the cranberry bog.
Oh, Rob.
Well, thanks for letting me know that, Rob. I appreciate that.
Okay, just want you to know what the source is, these materials.
Can I ask a question in reading the plan? This is Caroline. If you look at the side of the house where the gate is, there's no entrance to the house on that side. Is there?
Oh, yeah.
Well, there is a little door right there. Isn't that a little door?
What was the dining room, and it is now, I guess, a laundry room.
Oh,
Oh, that faces south. That is such a beautiful room. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord. Oh, dear. I see. So they, okay. So it isn't an entrance to the house. It's not as if, where will the cars go?
straight back, I guess. Where do you go to unload your groceries?
That's my point.
Through the window wells.
That's bad.
I know. Okay, so I guess we're of a mind, and we'd like to sort of send the message to the HEC that we too are not, even though this is a new application, it's still the same thinking about not having a pool at this particular building as a start for addressing swimming pools in Sconset, even though we seem to have plenty of them already. Doesn't mean it should continue.
Agreed. And get rid of the gate.
And yeah, we don't need the gate.
Right, the gate changes the message, the outward message.
Okay. Thank you, everybody on that one. We're jumping now to 42 Canterbury Lane for, oh, a swimming pool. Okay.
Mr. Chair, the thing is, I don't have any concerns. It's that as far away as it could get from the road and it's in the sticks. I don't have a concern.
I have no concerns either. This is Mary. However, I will note the irony of the fact this is where they were going to put a community pool kind of down that end as the amenity, part of the amenities package they were originally proposing. And that was what, 30 or 20 pools ago? They were gonna have one pool instead of just saying.
Thank you for that, Mary. I think we all agree on that.
And doesn't matter about pool equipment, because.
Yeah. Where's the pool equipment?
But
It's in the Loran station.
The edge of the pot fields.
Yeah. This has quite a bit of bluestone surrounding, I mean, lots of it. But what does
Love
that
the
say?
I love the
A soak pool. Is this is considered a soak pool? Because it's only 7 by 13?
That's
Oh,
what it
no.
says.
Approved
pool.
16 by 23 pool.
They're shrinking the pool.
Maybe it's only 2 feet deep.
They just want to soak.
Yeah.
Lounge and soak, no cabana.
Yeah.
I guess that's
Yeah.
a blessing. And a fire
But the-
pit.
That's to get all the sand off you from the new sand dunes that they're putting down the street.
I think it's all for rental, summer rental.
Yeah.
Income.
Yep.
All right, so we have no concerns. I'm taking that to
concern.
be the case. Okay, thank you very much. 9 Beach Street. Roberta
Yeah.
Brown.
This is
Um,
very confusing to me.
Oh, I can explain it. This is where
Please do.
this is where they were going to move the house that they ended up demoing at the Burlingham's property. They were going to take that 315 square foot house and move it into this spot. And then that didn't happen.
Well, so they want to put 2 more houses in this spot?
They're
mean,
putting,
We've
they're putting
approved the 1 bedroom.
studio, yeah.
So
No,
is
this is in Bobby Brown's or Roberta Brown's lot. So this is the lot that you actually see the house from whatever that front road is called. But in fact, the entrance is on Beach Street. So what this is doing, this house is going in next to those poor people from Rhode Island who kind of got into contractor difficulty. Remember, we heard that story?
Yes.
So
Yes.
this is squeezing them on the other side. They are going to be, they're gonna have 5 feet on either side of their house between buildings now. Whereas when they bought the property, there were not buildings in either of those places.
And this is Iski's old house that you're talking about? Or
No,
what's it called, Mary? The little bitty one?
oh, the little bitty one is gone
Gone,
native.
gone native. And this is on the other side?
Super, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is Rob. That what you have on the screen, not that one, Holly. Scroll down right there. I don't know what that is.
I'm confused by that. I don't either.
It's a shed for sure, but and I think it's on that property, but
But not where we're talking, I think.
yeah, I don't. Yeah,
And Mr. Chair, I apologize. I did receive an email from Joe's office to say that he was not going to be able to attend today. So obviously
Okay.
these questions would have been
That was my question.
helpful.
Joe is on. So he could explain this. Joe's had a lot of projects in this neck of the woods.
Yeah,
Mm.
he's a busy guy.
This is a beach. Oh.
Hi, it's Angus. Looking at this application, there have been so many things that have been so elaborate presented in Codfish Park, and it's so refreshing to see a simple form with simple dormers that don't dominate the whole roof. Plank door, planks for the windows. It reminds me of what would have been down there in the early boathouses, or the early beach houses, that really were just simply changing sheds and or storage. And it reads that way. It's refreshing to see. I think it could be 2, 3, 4 feet shorter, unless they're trying to really create a second floor space, and I'm not sure, how appropriate that would be. But the general form is refreshing to see as an application. That's all. Thanks.
Thank you, Angus.
I'm this Clement, I'm still confused about if they would include, please, on the next site plan where the existing houses already are.
It's the house
And-
where the pointer is.
Gone Native, I believe, is right here. Am I
No,
correct? On this side.
Other side, right.
Okay. All right, don't listen to me.
So this is the house,
on the other
what's it
side.
called?
I believe this is the lot. If I'm correct, please let me know. If I'm not, please correct me. I believe this is a lot that Joe was trying to get the Chip Webster's house that was on Santos property that was built in the early 2000s on this lot.
Exactly. That's
Okay.
exactly where we're supposed to go.
I think that's where a lot of the confusion is. There's been a lot of stuff going on in this area.
So this is part of Leap of Faith. It's not part of Mark Burlingham or whatever his name is.
It's not.
No,
It's not.
Burlingham is this area.
Yeah. So somehow we're putting in a new house just to the left of this proposed house. I'd love to see a comprehensive site plan with all the other existing houses on it, so we can see how this can even imagine to fit in.
It's going to be very tight down there.
Yeah. Very tight.
This is Rob. So this little house is to the east of Gone Native, in that very
Correct.
hedged
Yes.
about. Yes, okay. And then the next house east is the one on the corner that was
That-
Maudlin property, I think. Yeah. Okay. I agree with what Angus said, and my first impression was only that the street side with the electrical box facing the street. I guess that was it. I mean, I
Agree. Yeah.
I see how the north elevation very nicely fits as it faces the main house, and
Yep.
that's really terrific. I can't wait to go down there in the middle of the winter sometime. But my thought, the fact that they put the electrical box on the elevation made me think, that's all. I agree about maybe bringing the height down a little bit, but it's nice to see a Codfish Park house going in Codfish Park.
Can I please add, Rob? That's a really good point about the electrical box. I'm assuming that they would panel that or have it boxed in in some way, but also there's probably going to be planting in front of it.
I would also add, not to be too facetious, but planting the electrical box there is the one true element of Codfish Park about this whole street now. You know, Codfish Park was simple. You put the electrical box where it needed to be.
Right.
And that's, if anything, I think that's kind of okay.
This is
And at first-
Caroline. Oh, sorry. No, no.
Go, Carolyn. Thank you.
The door, the side door that you're showing as number 2 there. Yeah, the plank door opens toward Gone Native, right?
I think it's on the east side, isn't it? Oh, no,
West.
that's west elevation. Oh, yeah, it does then.
Yeah.
I think that's because of the parking that's there, that when you come in, if it were hinged on the other side, you would have to go around it to get in, right?
Forget that one.
Yeah, we
Oh,
still
I
don't-
see.
We don't know what that is.
Kind of thought that was already on their property. Maybe not.
There is a shed down there. I just can't
Yeah.
remember.
So are they, but they didn't propose to demolish that.
No,
Yeah.
then maybe move it. Because I think that's a photo to show what's visible from the street from here. So
Okay.
maybe that's right here, right now, which is very hard to discern on this aerial. Bear with me. Very hard to see. Maybe there.
And it's a cabana. That's what it's called, is a cabana.
Oof, yeah, it's tough.
Didn't we see a plan earlier this year, say within the last 6 months, that asked us to approve something that they were doing to the porch of the main house?
They added that mudroom on the
Yeah.
side.
Yeah,
They
and
did.
did they talk about moving the shed at that point? Did we approve the shed move?
I don't remember. I just remember the mudroom, but you're right. And it's there. And it sticks out a lot.
Okay.
We were worried, Mary, that the shed was going to affect the neighbors to the east. Weren't we? I mean, wasn't that the discussion?
There was some discussion and I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh, did it have to get moved if they took the?
Yeah, I don't remember.
We lost Mary, Mr. Chair.
Because
Okay.
she's so warm. Must have been a palm tree.
Mhm.
Holly, could you show us what, I don't have my other computer. What is this little building going to be used for? Is it like a 1-bedroom, or it says cabana, I think, and I'm not sure
Uh,
what that
is
means.
floor plan?
Somewhere
Here's
else
the
they
floor
call it a
plan.
studio. Somewhere else it says studio.
So they're the footings, they're the, okay, it's just it's a studio.
Yep.
Common room.
Yep, studio.
Doesn't even show a bed, though.
Nope. Maybe it's a pull-out couch.
Good point.
A cabana. They're not going to put a pool in there, are they? Between those two.
Lots of
Oh.
room, Rob. Lots of room.
Okay, everybody. So
Well, to summarize my concerns, I would like to see actually where this house fits in relation to its neighbors on a site plan. That's my only, I feel like I'm missing something there.
yeah, that would be helpful. I mean,
And if the shed is to be demolished, or, yeah, exactly where this all fits together would be nice. Thank you.
Sounds good. Will do.
This is Rob. I'm looking on the town's tax map stuff and trying to find a photograph. The assessor's maps don't show
No, it
any
doesn't
other
show
building
shade.
there. I almost have a feeling like that insertion of that photograph might be from somewhere else. Let me look. I'm just gonna see. Thank you. There it is. Okay, so I just see the house as it shows on the plan, and there's nothing else out to the street.
Yep.
So I don't know what the photograph was. So, but anyway, yeah. So it's right next to, it's between Gone Native and the one in the corner. Oh, wait a minute.
And there's a deck, there's a second floor, there's a loft.
Oh, wait, there is a shed right there.
Oh, there is?
Ugh. We shouldn't be having to do this, but anyway, here we are. Okay. There doesn't seem to be anything on the 2018 aerial photograph that's already on that lot besides the house. So,
I'll let Joe know that we have these concerns.
okay.
Looks like we got other business.
Do we have other business? I just had a message from Mary Will. Her computer just died, so
Understand that.
she won't be voting on any more. All right, she says, peace out, everybody. Thank you. All right, so let's see. Is the 30 West Sankaty Road, was that one taken off?
The Marconi, yes, that was taken off. Yes.
Okay,
I don't think it was ready for review.
okay, thank you.
Under other business, Mr. Chair, we
Yeah.
have Resilient Nantucket, the Marconi Station, and the advisory area plan map.
Okay, do you
request.
have anything for us for Resilient
So-
Nantucket?
Yes, so Resilient Nantucket, as you all are aware, we've been going through the review process with the HDC. The Historical Commission has also been invited to give input. The design guidelines are available on our website. I can tell you our consultant has been busy updating them with the comments and suggestions that he has received for the past month or so. If I would encourage you all to take a look at that and see if there's anything that you would like to add when it comes to Sconset in general. Obviously, Codfish Park is an area of concern down the road. But this, I think it's very important to separate what Resilient Nantucket is. This MVP action grant that we received is technically an addendum to building with Nantucket in mind for flood adaptation measures. And they're modeled after the Secretary of the Interior standards for adaptation. Secretary of Interior standards is what our building with Nantucket in mind is mapped off of. And it's very important to note that just within the last 2 years is when this effort from the federal government side actually is taking this into consideration of what does it mean when you elevate a historic structure within a historic district. So I think we're at a good spot as far as planning goes. Also, this ties in nicely with the coastal resiliency plan. If you have not heard or followed any of that with the town, but the Resilient Nantucket, one of the consultants is actually a sub-consultant for the coastal resiliency plan. The coastal resiliency plan is really going to see what the overall, whether it's going to be a recommendation to not build in a certain location, or it's going to be a recommendation to have some state law changes. It's a whole plethora of things. Really think of it as, I know you all are familiar with the master planning perspective and the master plan for the area plan for Sconset, but think of it for a how do we tackle sea level rise and erosion and climate change for the entire island and our sister islands, Tuckernutt and Muskeget. So it's an overall planning mechanism, very in depth. That's going on right now, and we're not losing sight of the fact that Nantucket is a National Historic Landmark. I think that's very important to make sure it's emphasized. And I know the main consultant, Arcadis, the project manager, his name is Trevor. He understands preservation, which is a great thing, to make sure that part of the conversation. So if you have not seen the draft design guidelines as they are right now, I encourage you to take a look at them. You can email me any comments you have, suggestions, what have you, especially pertaining to Sconset. If you actually Google Resilient Act, you can actually go right to the town's page that has the MVP Action Grant information, and all the different meetings that were before the HDC and even our community charrettes that we've had. Unfortunately, due to COVID, everything, as you know, has changed. So our time frame has had to accommodate virtual means of communicating with everybody and having these public events. There will be next month in April a big forum, if you will, about a 3-day forum. It's in tying in with Earth Day. So that Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
What date?
That will be the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. And there's a tentative schedule on our webpage. I just had our public outreach coordinator for the town put that on there with specifics to be determined. But this forum is not going to just talk about Nantucket and what we've done and what we're doing, but it's also going to bring subject matter experts from all over the world. So it's really going to be an event that I would encourage you all to register early, because this is something that there's no fee for, because it's through the town, but we do have a lot of different sponsors or I should say
Participants.
yes, and people that are involved, Preservation Mass, NPT, and I think NHA, all these different folks. And there's going to be representatives, like I said, from all over the world. The national trusts over in the UK is going to have somebody speak. So we're going to have some significant people in the world of climate change and resiliency and what it deals with the cultural environment. So this is going to be very exciting, and this is something that our consultant, Lisa Craig, is the consultant from the Craig Group, who's been taking charge of the toolkit aspect of how we need to prepare for climate change and flooding, and is involved with the coastal resiliency plan. So long-winded, but I just wanted to mention that to you all.
That's great, Holly.
this is
Thank you.
Carolyn. Oh, I'm sorry.
Carolyn, go.
So it includes Baxter Road too.
Baxter Road, yes. The design guidelines are
Okay.
for the entire island. The coastal resiliency plan will include that, and you are familiar with the separate project that Arcadis is taking on Baxter Road. Yes, it'll all tie in. Yep.
And Holly, most of these links are, these things are noted on the HDC website.
You can actually just Google Resilient Act altogether,
Okay.
one word, and it will take you. You'll find right to the town's page, and it
Gotcha.
will say at the top MVP, and you'll see my name on there, and then to the left is going to say presentations. Click on that, and actually it's going to give you that proposed forum discussion for next month, and then all
Great.
the previous events that we've had for this project.
Yeah, I went to the first 5 or 6 of them. They're really interesting. And haven't some of the HDC meetings been sort of sidelined because you've been doing this as well? Isn't that, well, I don't mean sideline, but
this effort has been in addition to the regular HDC
Yeah, right.
applications and
Gotcha. Yep.
meeting schedules. Yes.
Great. Well, I'm looking forward to looking at all that. I got away from it for a whole nother reason, but I'm looking forward to getting back to it.
Understand there's a lot of different things going on. We have until June to be able to provide the approval or of a, an actual reason why we received this action grant to begin with. The
Right.
fact that Nantucket is a coastal historical community, they want to be able to replicate this effort somewhere else in the Commonwealth, and that's exactly what the Commonwealth is looking for with these action grants. So we're very fortunate to receive this action grant. We're actually going to be, after this project, applying for other grants. So there's just a lot of different efforts that the town is doing, and I was very happy to be able to, I guess, advocate for historic preservation for Nantucket for this granting cycle.
you.
So,
Thank you, Holly.
mhm.
Yeah,
Rob,
it's very
I-
much appreciated. Very much appreciated. And if I can sneak in while that door is open, speaking of historic preservation, I spoke with the Coast Guard on, it's either Thursday or Friday, doesn't matter. And the local aids and navigation team is going to take the Sconset Trust request for a brighter light. They're going to take it directly to Boston. So now it's going to be in the first district's hands sometime this week. And so maybe we'll get some action on that. And I will keep on that.
Thank you. I want to be able to see Sankety Light in my house again.
Noted. Anything? Oh,
Rob,
Holly,
I
go
have
ahead.
one. Rob?
Yep.
I have
Yeah.
one thing about the guidelines. It's quite a document. It's 115 pages. On page 40, there's an example photo. It says 30 Codfish Park Road, and it's Gully Road, but it's the address of the place is, I think it's 7 Jackson. That's the street that runs beside it. But it has that it's built in 1928, and the original structure, I believe, was built in 1928. But that was redone in the past 20 years or so, to the extent that I didn't see any visible history left in it. The porch is different, the fenestration's different. The roof lines are different. I think it was completely reconstructed. So maybe we need to check with MPT or maybe look into that. But that's one thing I would change in the document.
Thank you, Angus. I appreciate that. If that is the case, which it sounds like is absolutely a incorrect structure to use for Codfish Park, would you recommend another one?
The one beside it, 26.
Okay,
And I think it's the only one left down there that looks like it's from another time.
perfect. So I can let him know.
Thanks.
That's what I need. Thank you.
good catch.
That's what I like. Takes multiple eyes.
Anything on the Marconi?
Nothing,
Okay, thank you.
We'll keep that on, Mr. Chair.
Yeah,
please.
sure. Why not? And I guess we're waiting on our area plan. I guess we're waiting to see when Kathy can get it scheduled for the
Yes.
HTC board.
Yes, and I will just keep you posted on that. I don't know. I know there's a lot of different things going on right now, as you
Yeah.
probably are aware, with appeals and whatnot. So it keeps us busy. So I will just touch base with her to see. I don't know if she's had any discussion with the chair or not, but as soon as it is for their agenda, I will let you know, Rob.
Terrific. All right, I'll take a motion to approve the comments from
So moved.
anybody. Thank you, Clement. All those in favor, Caroline?
Yes,
Thank you, Angus,
Yes.
Clement,
Yes.
Rob is a yes. And I'm very happy that well, no, never mind. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thanks, Clement. All in favor? Caroline?
Yes.
Thank you. Angus?
Aye.
Clement?
Yes.
Rob is a yes. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Holly,
you,